Good day everyone, we are the Group 7 reporters and we will be going to discuss about ICT and assessment of learning. But before we proceed to that, I am going to share to you a short introduction about the innovative technologies for assessment tasks in teaching and learning. The objectives are first, explain the role of ICT in assessment and learning. Second, explored various digital online and offline assessment alternatives available. Assessment, learning, and teaching are closely related and intertwined because each provides information that determines effective teaching. Once you have conceptualized your curriculum and implemented your learning outcomes, the next step is to consider how you will assess them. This is an important part of the lesson because the data collected at this stage of the lesson will let the teacher know if the student has actually learned or if the teacher should reconsider a better teaching approach. Student assessment enables instructors to measure the effectiveness of their teaching by linking student performance to specific learning objectives. As a result, teachers are able to institutionalize effective teaching choices and revise ineffective ones in their pedagogy. The measurement of student learning through assessment is important because it provides useful feedback to both instructors and students about the extent to which students are successfully meeting course learning objectives. While traditional assessment methods are still valid, the role of ICT plays in the current teaching and learning concept has certainly changed the direction teachers should take. The use of technology plays an important role in helping teachers assess students' learning outcomes. These are digital devices or online applications that can be used to create, deliver, and report on learners' performance. Use of technology in teaching and learning is inevitable in education, giving teachers the advantage to fast-track task making while developing digital literacy. Also, to the learners, utilizing technology in doing tasks such as e-portfolio, blog, vast scope of World Wide Web, and editing applications for recreational and creative activities. Integration of these websites and applications to assess students' intellectual progress adapts to new social norms in learning. And now let's proceed to our main topic, which is ICT and assessment of learning. But first, I'm going to introduce to you the lesson outcomes. First, explain the concepts of the roles of ICT in assessment. Second, show the importance of ICT in assessing students' learning. Third, and the last one, describe the current trends of assessment in learning. Assessment is very important in student learning. There are different approaches to assessing learning with a focus on the learning process and learning outcomes. The final measure of a student's ability is performance. Advances in information and communication technology, or ICT, have opened up many opportunities to assess student learning and provide immediate feedback. In the classroom, it is also important to give students opportunities to learn and apply the required 21st century skills because it promotes inclusion and the development of digital literacy skills. It extends learning beyond the text and beyond the classroom walls. Also, it ultimately exposes students and teachers to new online global communities. This in turn promotes a global awareness, which is an essential component to a 21st century education. The importance of information technology in the context of teaching and learning in today's era is that technology enables teachers to be up to date with new techniques and help their students to be updated with the latest technologies such as the use of tablets, mobile phones, computers, and more in education. Why is assessment very important in student learning? Due to the fact that it aids in learning, assessment is an important part of education. Students can assess their understanding of the course material, and they can also monitor how they are doing in a class. So what is really an assessment? An assessment is the process of identifying, gathering, and interpreting information about students' learning. And now, let's proceed to the types of assessment to be discussed by Ms. Aname Balaba.
Let's proceed now to the types of assessment. So, assessment can be classified into various types or approaches based on the purpose for which it is designed. It can be classified as formative assessment, summative assessment, diagnostic assessment, and authentic assessment or performance assessment. Formative assessment. Formative assessment provides feedbacks and information during the instructional process while learning is taking place and while learning is occurring. It helps teacher understand student progress and the level of understanding during a unit of instruction. So, some example of formative assessment are accept cards, 1 minute essay, and four corner assessment. Summative assessment. Summative assessment take place after the learning has been completed and provide information and feedback that sum up the teaching and learning process. Its purpose is to let the teacher and student know the level of accomplishment attained. So some of example of summative assessment are unit test, midterm exam, and final exam. Diagnostic assessment. Diagnostic assessment, it can help you identify your student current knowledge of a subject, their skill, sets and capabilities, and to clarify misconception before teaching takes place. Is designed to locate specific learning deficiencies in case of specific individuals as a specific stage of learning lesson so that specific efforts can be made to overcome those resources. Some example of diagnostic assessment are pre-test, self-assessments, and interviews. The last one is authentic assessment or performance assessment. It describes the multiple form of assessment that reflects student learning achievement, motivation, and attitudes in instructionally relevant classroom activities. It usually includes as fast for students to perform and the rubrics by which their performance in the task will be evaluated. So some example of authentic assessment are experiments, demonstrations, and projects.
So next we have here the role of ICT assessment in learning. First is the use of information and communication technology in assessment is very useful for teachers because student information and exam results can be saved and stored and easily retrieved. Yes, it is very helpful to teachers, especially during the pandemic, since they use Google Forms during exam, which help them easily record and store the students' exam. The second is with help of ICT, teachers can give students immediate feedback on the results of the assessment. The example that would be is Google Forms. Wherever the teacher created a quiz or exam, Google Form automatically grades the quiz or test. Once the students submit their responses, students can see their score and correct answer after taking the exam. Third is computer feedback during use of test material can improve student performance. on subsequent use of the same test material. So you can read the concept for further understanding that is presented in the screen. And in the bottom of the concept, you can see the major advantages of online examination. First is accessibility and flexibility. Since online exam can be conducted anywhere, all students need a device to have an access to the internet connection and give students the ability to sit a secure and online assessment from the comfort of their home. And the same thing, teachers do not have to bother with the laborious task of marking exam, as this is well taken by the system, as it marks the exam and presents the result of the students at the end of the exam. Second, time management. Since online examination systems helps in saving time, the lengthy formalities and the processes involved in creating question papers, answer sheet evaluation, and declaration of results gets completely eradicated with the easy availability of computer and internet. Next is save cost. When an exam is based on online platform, there is considerable decrease in the cost. The cost of paper and photocopying are eliminated. Lastly, statistic analysis. Since different comparative analysis can be done to analyze the outcome of an exam over time with the help of compared data, which can be easily stored over time. Security and confidentiality must also be considered. Security should be a top priority for any website where you add information. Some schools use security and privacy software for exam. So to conclude this, remember that the rule of ICT assessment in learning is it is created to provide a student with higher level of thinking skill in a particular aspects with a creative and critical thinking. And now, let's proceed to the next topic.
When you say assessment, what comes up into your mind? So assessment is carried out to ensure that learning has taken place. This is used to measure the learner's knowledge and skills in their chosen area of learning. Assessment can be used to encourage learners to ask questions on anything they have not understood. Learners at some point will have to know that they will have to prove their knowledge and understanding. Current trends in assessment focus on judging students' progress. By traditional assessment, I am referring to the forced choice measures of multiple choice, fill in the blanks, true or false, matching type, and the like that have been and remain so common in education. Students typically select and answer or recall information to complete the assessment. These tests may be standardized or teacher created. They may be administered locally or statewide or internationally. In the traditional assessment model, the curriculum drives assessment. The body of knowledge is determined first, that knowledge becomes the curriculum that is delivered. Subsequently, the assessments are developed and administered to determine if acquisition of the curriculum occurred. Wilbert Goron 2010, the 21st century assessment includes four assessment. First, utilizing multiple measures assessment. It indicates and sources of evidence of student learning of varying kinds, gathered at multiple points in time within and across subject areas. It is important because the more evidence that you collect, the more valid and reliable inferences you can draw about the extent of student learning. Therefore, students should be assessed periodically throughout the semester. The second assessment is increasing the use of technology. Through continued use in education, students are coached on how to use technology in a responsible and strategic way, which can help in decision making and can also encourage self-discipline. Furthermore, technology has a role to play in industry. Hence, The use of technology in education will help prepare students for the real world environment and to help them to achieve their future careers. The third assessment is focused on the growth and development of learners. Teachers play such a huge role in the growth and development of students. They are responsible for ensuring an adequate learning environment which is crucial to student success. A good teacher guides their students through knowledge acquisition and prevents problems from arising by offering guidance on human development as well. The teachers must know how to best socialize the students. An understanding of the basic development stages is useful to tackle the teacher's lesson plans to maximize the student's success in both educational and social dominions of their lives. The last assessment is differentiating the roles and responsibilities of the teachers, administrators, and other stakeholders. As teachers, our primary goal for our students is to promote learning, inspire them to bring out their best, and help them become productive members of the community. Some teachers are more popular than among other students. These teachers become popular by building good relationships with their students and by treating them with respect. However, this ideal situation would not be possible without the help and support of all school stakeholders. Stakeholders are individuals or groups who have an interest or concern for the school. Parents desire a successful educational system for their children, while the students themselves want to receive good education. In the 21st century, we are facing a global economy where information travels at the speed of the light, and knowledge of how to harness and sift through the information has become vital to our personal and national well-being. As an educator, we know that our students must graduate ready to function in this expanded world.
Let us talk about experience. Educational technology has opened up new, exciting, and innovative ways to engage students in active learning online. Through technology, teachers can incorporate active learning activities into fully online lessons, homework modules, and even online classroom activities. Roblier and Edwards 2000, cited in Kizer and Osgon 2011, point out that there are important reasons why teachers use technology in teaching. Motivation, strong teaching skills, improved teacher productivity, essential skills, and support in the information age. On new teaching techniques, cited in Samak 2006. Online learning initiatives often fail to engage and educate learners because they are passive in nature, such as reading PDFs, flipping through slides, and listening to link lectures. One way he enhances these experiences is by focusing on integrating active learning techniques. Active learning is active learning in which students interact and engage with material rather than passively assimilating information. Parents can also help learners create rich learning experiences at home and in everyday activities such as exertions. Teachers provide learning activities that are purposeful, meaningful, and helpful. Technology allows teachers to adopt every style of learning, whether students learn best through lectures, reading, and illustrations. Technology has the ability to accommodate every type of learning that students use and prefer, introducing more technology in the classroom to create a blended classroom where students experience technology as they would in the real world. Education technology can help students by making learning more engaging and collaborative. Rather than memorizing facts, students learn by doing and through critical thinking. That's all for the experience.
Assessment has always been an integral part of the teaching and learning process. Using ICT to assess students gives teachers instant feedback. The use of computer adaptive testing is one of the latest advances in assessment. Assessment plays an important role in the process of teaching and learning. The types of assessment tasks that teachers ask their students to do determine how students will approach the learning task and what study behaviors they will use. Given the importance of assessment for student learning, it is important to consider how to best measure the learning that you want your students to achieve. Assessment should integrate grading, learning, and motivation for your students. Well-designed assessment methods provide valuable information about student learning. They tell us what students learned, how well they learned, and where they struggled. Assessment then becomes a lens for understanding student learning, identifying invisible barriers, and helping teachers to improve their teaching approaches. So that would be all. Thank you. We hope that you have learned something regarding with our discussion.